Now, the Football Association has released the date, or let me say the important dates for the two top leagues in men's football, the Ghana Premier League and the Division 1 League. The Ghana Premier League is set to start in September, and that has drawn many attention. Now, for the activity plan of the Football Association in the build-up to the start of the league, there's a mandatory rest period between, okay, so the plan is on your screens, mandatory rest period between June 19 and July 28. This means clubs are not supposed to start pre-season within this period, but they are, I know Brekum Chelsea, because their director of communication has been on the platform to say that the club is already in pre-season, so not too sure what the reaction of the FA will be. Registration window is already opened from June 20. According to the Football Association, pre-season should start on July 29 to September 14. Okay, so for Nagod FC, that starts pre-season from 1st August. It means we'll be working within the regulations of the Football Association. Registration window closes on September 1. The Champions of Champions is set for September 3, and that will be the Premier League winners, Mediama Sporting Club, taking on FA Cup champions, Dreams Football Club. Now, the deadline for all registration queries will be September 4, and start of the BetPower Premier League will be the weekend of September 15 to September 18. And for the Access Bank Division 1 League, the start date is Wednesday, 4th of October. That one is not captured on the screens, but the FA has communicated that the start date for the Access Bank Division 1 League will be Wednesday, 4th October. So, Sheikh, let me find out from you. The release says that mandatory rest period, June to July 29. What happens to clubs that have already started pre-season and will not comply to this directive of the Football Association?
Okay, so the mandatory rest period is 1 month, right?
Okay, well,
it's 1 month, 4 weeks.
Joe, bring back the
love.
Yes, bring back. Okay, so that's June 19 to July 20. So that's more than
3 weeks.
It's more than 3 weeks. That's more than a month. So that's a month
and 2 weeks.
Almost
a month
2
and
weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. So
6 weeks.
When did the league end? And
the league ended first week. The league ended first week of June.
The second weekend.
Second week of June.
Okay. So what was your question again?
I asked, what happens to clubs that have violated this directive of the Football Association by already starting pre-season before July 29?
Michael, I'm sorry, but not to catch you. But you know, people have already said the FA has already violated this. Because Masoud Dramani has called players up for counting. So the FA has already violated it.
But that's the national team. But Abigail, when is your turn to speak, you can
I actually saw that one too on Twitter when people were juxtaposing Didi Dramani's call up to.
But that's the national team. So you don't have and you don't have clubs contributing up to 50% of their players to the national team.
Exactly. So maybe.
But Sheikh, I'm interested, and I ask you because I know you are close to the corridors of power.
Will be maybe 2, and that is good to go per the regulations.
You said 2.
I said the maximum because they are going in batches.
Per batch.
Yes, per batch. Yes. You know, because I know a club that has about 4 players.
The team has about 7.
The team has about 7, right? Yeah. So they are going in different batches. So with that, it still makes it okay. Now, coming back to your question, well, I don't know the sanctions that the FA has communicated to the clubs.
Okay.
But I suspect that if the clubs go against this particular sanction, the FA will have a directive of speaking to them. But what I see to be very serious here is that this period is to give a pictorial understanding to the clubs that this is the length of time. That's why I wanted to see the dates again. This is the length of time that you need to let your players rest. So if the clubs, per the time that the league went on break, to when they started their preseason falls within that maybe 1 month, 2 weeks time period, maybe they are good to go. And I don't know the communication that has also gone on between them and
But
the
you
FA.
see, I asked this because of the word mandatory.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so the mandatory, if I should, and I explain it from my perspective, means that at the end of the season, you need that period mandatory for the players to rest. Not necessarily that you have to work within that date, just like you indicated. Your club will be starting the preseason in the first week of August. You understand? Per your structure and how you have even designed your program, you are starting in August because the league for Division 1 is starting in October. So you are starting your preseason. Beautiful. Now, what about the other clubs and what was their structures? How had they also designed their plans? Did they have that 1 month, 2 weeks rest period that is required of them from every club? Maybe the FA has come up with this particular day to help clubs that have even not programmed themselves. That look, between 19th, and 19th starts from, I think today, right?
No, that is 19th of June, last month.
Last month,
June.
Yeah. So what it means is that we have about 8 days, 8 days to end the mandatory period.
Yeah.
Okay, so within that time, if the club has been able to get that 1 month, 2 weeks period for themselves, they are good to go. But for those who maybe do not have that structure, have not designed a plan, they've been given a guideline by the FA that within this period, you need to let your players rest before you start preseason again. And you know, when preseason starts, it starts with rigorous exercises. A lot of things go into it before they come to team shaping, team building before the season starts. So I think that the structures are good, just giving them guidelines as to what to do. But they should know that at the end of the season, the players need a mandatory period of 1 month, 2 weeks, or 1 month, 3 weeks to rest.
Okay, Rahman, your take on the dates as released by the calendar released by the football.
For me, I think it will be good for GACA so that they can figure in when to play the GACA top 4.
Would they still play?
Yeah.
They said they are going to play in Kumasi,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Kwame Sports Complex or Babayara.
I don't know. But I know it's
For
between
that one, I don't know, but
Yeah.
they've confirmed that GACA top 4 will be on. And this time around, not top 8 or top 6. So it is good for them because that's one body, I don't know what they are up to. Season will end and difficult to figure in when to play the top 4. And for me, it is good for them. And again, the champion of champions, because the last 2 seasons, when Accra Suffolk won both the FA Cup and then the league, it clearly automatically shows that they are the champion of champions, but nothing was presented to them. And last season too, we've not witnessed the champion of champions. So I don't know. When you are doing something, it should be consistent. And this season, we will be playing champion of champion. Next season, it will be off. So I want to see the consistency of that champion of champion run through our season when the season get end. But I think it is good for especially clubs who are preparing for CAF inter-club competition, talking about Dreams and also Mediama Sporting Club. This will help them in terms of programming their matches. Because I think the CAF champions matches or the Confederation Cup will also start in August. So I think it is a proper message to these 2 clubs in terms of getting the right players and also getting the right technical men on board to help them fasten their things as far as CAF inter-club competition is concerned. So I think it's positive for clubs who will be partaking in the CAF Champions League and also Confederation Cup and also the GACA top 4.
Michael, let me sound a bit sarcastic based on what the Rahman has said. The league will be starting in September. We have 2 months or less than 2 months to that period.
Yeah.
We have clubs in this country that have not put together their structures already. When the season starts and they begin to struggle, they shouldn't blame anybody.
Abigail, let me bring you into the conversation.
I think that, like Sheikh said, it is a guide. Clearly, if after a tiring season, you need to rest. So I'm sure the mandatory there is just to tell the club not to engage the players in that strenuous exercises.
Because some of these clubs, after the end of the season, will play agency matches and play agency matches.
Yes, I'm sure.
And before you see it, it's even time for preseason.
Yes.
So you can't tell the difference between the time they were playing these matches and the preseason.
Of course. So I'm sure some of these reasons why that period is termed as mandatory. They need to take a rest from all of the games that we've had, 34 matches plus FA Cup. That's strenuous. They need to at least rest and reset again.
Okay.
So I think it's just a guide. Know that whatever you plan, you have to be guided that before the weekend of 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th September, you should be ready. You should check your venue, check your jerseys, check your registrations, especially now that everything is going to be online. You don't come and say, I have to change this date, I have to change this name, I'm changing my captain, my right back, and all of that. It gives you a guide as to what you need to do before we start the league season. Like she said, when we start, we are not waiting for anybody, so you had better put your house in order. I feel that it is good to guide us, but we will only wish that as this has also come in early, we do not delay with the fixtures as well. So clubs can equally plan as to how they will be able to carry on their travels, especially knowing how it's tricky to travel in this country. Okay. I think if the fixtures comes out early enough, they'll be able to carry themselves about.
But Michael, the fun aspect of this is that now the guidelines are out. But when you look at our top-notch clubs here in Ghana, they are not battling illegal
They'll be
issues.
fine. They'll be fine. Don't worry.
They are not battling
They'll be fine.
They both don't have coaches.
They'll be fine.
They are not even ready.
They have not